Hey everybody, welcome back. So the end of the last episode, I just finished gluing up this first box. I got to get it out of the clamps now, check it for square, and do a quick test fit on the back. And you might remember I was having some issues with the self-adhesive sandpaper that I had on my clamping cauls slipping and sliding around, and that's not good. So I'm going to replace it with some permanently attached sandpaper this time stuck on with CA glue, so I shouldn't have any issues with that this time around. And I'll just quickly whip together the second box. Sweet, so now that the second one's all dry, I can get it out of the clamps, give them both a quick sand just to clean everything up, and then I'm going to be moving on to adding a pill-shaped pass-through for cable management on the back of the left-hand side cabinet. The customer told me that's where all of their technical stuff like their router and things like that are going to live. So I'm just starting off by drilling part way through from each side with a Forstner bit to reduce any chance of tear out on the back side, and then I'm going to use my track saw to connect those two holes to create the pill shape, come back in, do a bit of hand sanding to smooth everything out and make it look nice and tidy. You may be asking yourself why go for a pill-shaped pass-through, and if you are, it's a good question. This cabinet is going to have adjustable shelving. It'll have two shelves and they'll be able to move them up and down. So I figured the best solution is to create something this shape, so no matter where they place the shelving, they will always have access for their cables to go through without them getting choked in behind the shelves. So I've given this cable pass through a nice sand so it's nice and smooth and there's no rough edges to catch anything. And now I need to just glue on the rest of the side that this pulls through. So when you're looking at it, it's a seamless piece, but I'm not sure if you remember or not, but when I cut these slots in and then when I made up the boards for the back, I was hoping for these to stay at 10mm. And I cut the recesses 10 pretty much. They ended up coming down to 8.5 for the panels, so there's a little bit of wiggle room in there, which works out quite well for the sides of the case where it slides in through here all the way along, as it gives it a bit of wiggle room and it's not going to get too tight over time. However, for this piece that I've cut off that I want to glue back on there, I need it to be a tight fit for the glue to work. So I've actually just glued on a little 1.5mm shim the whole way along that will be hidden within this groove. So now I can go ahead and get this piece glued onto this side, and that will be that side done, and then I'll do the same on the other. So this should all make sense now that you see it in its final piece. So that way we still have the piece that's able to pull in and out, but we have an uninterrupted side face. So I'm going to go back up to my brother's lathe at some point throughout the build and make a few brass thumb screws that will screw in through this piece and about 15mm into this piece that you'll be able to just do with your fingers, and that will hold it in place. It probably doesn't need it, but it'd be nice just to have something there as a bit of added fastener. And then once I've got those in and held it in nice and tight, I'll then sand everything completely flush. But yeah, it's quite a neat little solution to a removable back. From the inside, you can see we've got our little pass-through, and everything looks as it sort of should on the side that it will come out of. Yeah, thought that was quite a nice way to finish those off.
Moving on to the doors now, I need to square off one end and add a integrated door pull. So I'll get that off and show you exactly what I mean in 2 seconds.
So this is the profile that we're going for. It's a draw pull profile router bit that leaves you with a nice sort of finger groove ledge to put your fingers on and give it a pull. The customer was hoping to have the finger groove run the whole way along the top of each of these doors. However, I haven't done any full passes like that going against the grain. So I'm just going to do a bit of a test piece now with this part that I just cut off the top of that one to square it off. So I'll go through there, do shallow passes each time, and see how it cuts, and then from there we'll decide whether or not we're going to do the door pull along the top, or when we split the doors down the middle, whether or not we have it running about a third down from the top on each side of each door. So we'll give that a go and see how it goes. Alright, so that went better than I thought it would. Got a nice surface there, just giving it a quick sand down to smooth it off. But I think that will look quite nice, and we'll have that running along the top of both of the doors. I'm going to leave it wide for now, just in case I do get a bit of tear out on the end that ends up going all the way through with that router bit. So I'll be cutting off each side and then cut the bottom off, and then I'll be splitting them down the middle, so we'll have 2 doors on each side on each cupboard. So that's just a mock-up for now, but I've got those roughly cut to size. I still need to fine-tune my spacings and reveals, but I like to do that once I've got the hinges already drilled in and in place, so I can do any adjustments from there. So I think I might get onto that next, and then move on to the second one.
For the hardware on this one, we're going for Blum full inset soft close hinges in their, I believe they call it onyx or something. It's like a dark gunmetal grey. I think that'd be a nice contrast against the sort of goldy amber of this beech, and it will also sort of tie in with the dark stripes that we've got going on with all this bolting. So I'll get those drilled in, and also put in the receiving hangers on the inside, and we'll have a quick look and see how it goes.
Alright, so here's where I'm at with this. I just made up some little stops out of some of the spalted offcuts from the door itself. So that's got a nice flush fit now. I got to do the same on the other side. I was waiting for some more of these hinges to turn up, so I probably won't film doing the door on the second one because it's the same thing, you've already seen it. Yeah, just like that. So we got both of those done now. Here is the left side, and this side I actually now have to cut a great big hole in this door, because as per the plans it's going to be the entrance for one of their cats, or both of their cats. So I believe there's going to be a cat bed or a litter box in the bottom half of this cabinet. So we need to do a 170mm diameter hole in here. So I'll get onto that next.